Hello, kia ora. I'm Philip Duncan. Thanks for joining us for our Wednesday weather update, recorded on July the 24th. Well, all eyes are out on the Tasman Sea at the moment, this high pressure zone leaving Australia and it's heading towards the North Island, and it will cross over the top of the North Island over Friday and Saturday, and that will bring foggy areas as well. So if you're flying, do check the fog forecasters that we've got on our new app. And you can also find that at ruralweather.co.nz. So the high pressure zone is moving through. Now, before it gets here, the windy sou'westers carry on around Auckland. We've got a few showers today, Wednesday, but out around the Chatham Islands, that's the main area of low pressure. It has changed shape quite a bit now. It's got about 3 main centres to it, driving in very windy weather for the Chathams. But I guess the main feature is actually this northwest to westerly flow coming in around the South Island, and that is about to lift up temperatures over the next couple of days, well above average. So this is how we look in the early hours of Thursday morning, overnight tonight. Here is that high pressure zone and the cloudy nor'wester coming in. So let's animate the next 48 hours. You'll see that high pressure zone come into the North Island, and that's where we end here in the early hours of Saturday morning. Foggy patches expected to form as that system comes through over the top of the North Island, while we've got rain clouds building up along the west coast. Let's go through to Thursday lunchtime now, make sense of what is about to come on through. So lunchtime on Thursday, we've got a few showers along the western side here. They'll be coming through with that southwesterly wind. Most other places, though, will notice the winds turning more westerly, maybe even northwesterly in some spots. And that means the temperatures go up. Look at this, maximum temperatures, they are going up and up from where they've been over the last few weeks. So pretty mild for the north of New Zealand. Keep in mind, that's 17 degrees coming with a southwesterly. It was 18 degrees with a subtropical wind from Fiji the other day. So this is a mild airflow that is coming out from our neighbours in Australia. So Friday lunchtime, the high now moving into the North Island, and the nor'wester out of Australia now moving into the South Island. So that's why the temperatures are going up, and you've got that rain over on the west coast, mostly from about southwestland southwards down towards Fiordland, and a few showers brushing Stewart Island. On Saturday now, things get a little bit wetter down in that southwestern corner as that nor'wester still carries on. High pressure has now moved over the North Island, but like I say, foggy areas around Auckland Airport, Hamilton Airport, Tauranga, Rotorua, those areas may all be seeing a little bit of cloudy weather from that system and fog patches in that part of the country. But further down the South Island, those winds should help clear away any potential fog. Sunday, the high is now out over the Chatham Islands, and now we've got the next system to talk about. And yesterday we talked about the possibility of this wintry blast coming out of Australia. So you can see here we've got low pressure forming. There's high pressure just off the screen, and that's the reason why there's a cold southerly coming in for them, snow on the mountains. Low pressure fills up the Tasman though. That drives in a little bit of wet weather for the west coast, and we will be seeing some snow around the mountains and ranges and likely the ski fields of the south there as we go into the weekend. So Monday of next week, well, we've got low pressure here in the Tasman Sea by the looks of it, and high pressure out to the east. This is encouraging a mild northerly subtropical for the North Island. For the South Island, a colder airflow coming around this big high, and this is what we talked about yesterday. This high is the controlling feature for any potential wintry blast that we may or may not get next week. And I say may or may not because high pressure parked right here, shaped tall, that's a great sign of a cold southerly for New Zealand, but it's stretching this weird area of high pressure out from it, sort of a peninsula of high pressure coming out from the main high itself. And what that does is it starts to push the southerly further out to the eastern side of New Zealand. And it curves around now as a wet kind of easterly. You see it here on Tuesday, exactly what I'm talking about. If the high stopped here and sort of went down a little bit further, this would be a cold southerly coming in, but instead it's stretching it all the way out here, and so the colder airflows from south of New Zealand come up to the Chathams, and then they come in as a cold, wet easterly for Canterbury. Good if you need the rain, but there is likely to be snow on the mountains and ranges as a result of this, the two merging airflows creating potentially heavy snow on the mountains. For now, nothing too alarming for lower down, more populated areas, but I do want to contrast that map with this one here. This is from GDPS. It's from North America, Canada, basically, computer modeling. And it shows what we were talking about yesterday. The high over here in Tasmania stretching all the way down to the Southern Ocean and dredging up that very cold, wintry southerly. And they're also picking low pressure around New Zealand. It's fairly safe to say that there's no consistency with all the different computer modeling we look at, which means watch this space still. This is a very chaotic, messy weather pattern for next week. We have the potential of an Antarctic portion of airflow coming through, but as the other map we just showed you before said, it may not be such a straight southerly. It might be coming in as an easterly. So there's still a lot to work out, all due to the shape of that high over Tasmania. That is the entire controlling feature of the southerly for next week, if we get a major blast or if it's just limited to parts of the South Island. That is all from me for today. We'll update you again tomorrow with the very latest on what we're expecting for next week. We'll see you then.